Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Reading from the book The Perfection of Yoga. The chapter Yoga as Reestablishing Relationship with Krishna. We have heard many times of yoga system. The yoga system is approved by Bhagavad Gita, but the yoga system in Bhagavad Gita is especially meant for purification. The aim is threefold: to control the senses, to purify activities, and to link oneself to Krishna in a reciprocal relationship. The absolute truth is realized in three stages: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, Supersoul, and ultimately Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the final analysis, the Supreme Absolute Truth is person. Simultaneously, He is the all-pervading Supersoul within the hearts of all living entities and within the core of all atoms. And He is Brahmajyoti, or the effulgence of spiritual light, as well. Bhagwan Sri Krishna is full of all opulence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but at the same time, He is full of all renunciation. In the material world, we find that one who has much opulence is not very much inclined to give it up. But Krishna is not like this. He can renounce everything and remain complete in himself. When we read or study Bhagavad Gita under a bona fide spiritual master, we should not think that the spiritual master is presenting his own opinions. It is not he who is speaking. It is just an instrument. The real speaker is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is both within and without. At the beginning of his discourse on the yoga system in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiha sha sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragir na chakriha. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obliged is in the renounced order of life, and he is a true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. Bhagavad Gita 6.1. Everyone is working and expecting some result. One may ask, what is the purpose of working if no result is expected? A remuneration or salary is always demanded by the worker. But here Krishna indicates that one can work out of sense of duty alone, not expecting the result of his activities. If one works in this way, then he is actually a sannyasi, and he is in the renounced order of life. According to the Vedic culture, there are 4 stages of life: Brahmachari, Kṛṣṇa, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Brahmachari is a student life devoted to training in spiritual understanding. Grihastha life is married householder life. Then upon reaching the approximate age of 50, one may take the Vanaprastha order, that is, he leaves his home and children and travels with his wife to holy places of pilgrimage. Finally, he gives up both wife and children and remains alone to cultivate Krishna consciousness, and that stage is called sannyasa, or the renounced order of life. Yet Krishna indicates that for a sannyasi, renunciation is not all. In addition, there must be some duty. What then is the duty for a sannyasi? For one who has renounced family life and no longer has material obligations, his duty is a most responsible one. It is to work for Krishna. Moreover, this is the real duty of everyone in all stages of life. In everyone's life, there are 2 duties. One is to serve the illusion and the other is to serve the reality. When one serves the reality, he is a real sannyasi. And when one serves the illusion, he is deluded by Maya. One has to understand, however, that he is in all circumstances forced to serve. Either he serves the illusion or the reality. The constitutional position of living entity is to be a servant, not a master. One may think that he is the master, but he is actually a servant. When one has a family, he may think that he is a master of wife, or his children, or his home, business, and so on. But that is all false. One is actually the servant of his wife, or his children, or his business. The president may be considered the master of country, but actually he is the servant of country. Our position is always as servant, either as a servant of illusion or the servant of God. If, however, we remain the servant of illusion, then our life is wasted. Of course, everyone is thinking that he is not a servant, that he is working only for himself. Although the fruits of his labor are transient and illusionary, they force him to become a servant of illusion or a servant of his own sense. But when one awakens to these transcendental senses and actually becomes situated in knowledge, he then becomes a servant of reality. When one comes to the platform of knowledge, he understands that in all circumstances he is a servant. Since it is not possible for him to be master, he is much better situated serving the reality instead of illusion. When one becomes aware of he attains the platform of real knowledge. By sannyasa, the renounced order of life, we refer to one who has come to this platform. Sannyasa is a question of realization, not social status. It is the duty of everyone to become Krishna conscious and to serve the cause of Krishna. When one actually realizes this, he becomes a Mahatma or a great soul. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that after many births, when one comes to the platform of real knowledge, he surrenders unto me. Why is this? Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. The wise man realizes that Vasudeva, Krishna, is everything. However, Krishna says that such a great soul is rarely found. Why is this? If an intelligent person comes to understand that the ultimate goal of life is to surrender unto Krishna, why should he hesitate? Why not surrender immediately? What is the point in waiting for so many births? When one comes to that point of surrender, he becomes a real sannyasi. Krishna never forces anyone to surrender unto him. Surrender is a result of love, transcendental love. Where there is force and where there is no freedom, there can no be love. When a mother loves a child, she is not forced to do so, nor does she do so out of expectation of some salary or remuneration. Similarly, we can love the Supreme Lord in so many ways. We can love Him as a master, as a friend, as child, or as husband. There are 5 basic rasas or relationships in which we are eternally related to God. When we are actually in the liberated stage of knowledge, we can understand that our relationship with the Lord is in a particular rasa. That platform is called Swarupa Siddhi or real self-realization. Everyone has an eternal relation with the Lord, either as a master and a servant, friend and friend, parent and child, husband and wife, or lover and a beloved. These relationships are eternally present. The whole process of spiritual realization and the actual perfection of yoga is to revive our consciousness of this relationship. At present, our relationship with the Supreme Lord is pervertly reflected in this material world. In the material world, the relationship between master and servant is based on money or force of exploitation. There is no question of service out of love. The relationship between master and servant, pervertly reflected, continues only for so long as the master can play the servant. As soon as the payment stops, the relationship also stops. Similarly, in the material world, there may be a relationship between friends, but as soon as there is a slight disagreement, the friendship breaks and the friend becomes an enemy. When there is a difference of opinion between a son and parents, the son leaves home and the relationship is severed. The same with husband and wife, a slight difference of opinion, there is divorce. No relationship in this material world is actual or eternal. We must always remember that this ephemeral relationship are simply perverted reflection of that eternal relationship we have with Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have experienced that the reflection of an object in a glass is not real. It may appear real, but when we go to touch it, we find that there is no glass. We must come to understand that these relationships are as friend, parent, child, master, servant, wife or lover are simply reflection of that relationship. we have with God. When we come to this platform of understanding, then we are perfect in knowledge. When that knowledge comes with, we begin to understand that we are servant of Krishna and that we have an eternal relationship with Him. In this love relationship, there is no question of remuneration, but but of course, remuneration is there, and it is much greater than whatever we earn here through the rendering of service. There is no limit of Sri Krishna's remuneration. In this connection, there is a story of Bali Maharaj, a very powerful king who conquered a number of planets. The denizens of the heavenly planet appealed to the Supreme Lord to save them, for they had been conquered by the demoniac king Bali Maharaj. Upon hearing their pleas, Sri Krishna took the shape of a dwarf Brahmana boy and approached Bali Maharaj, saying, "My dear king, I would like something from you. You are a great monarch and are renowned for giving in charity to Brahmanas. So would you give me something?" Bali Maharaj said, "I will give you what you want. I simply want whatever land I can cover in 3 steps." The boy said, "Oh, is that all?" The king replied, "And what will you do with such a small piece of land?" "Though it may be small, it will suffice me." The boy smiled. Bali Maharaj agreed, and the boy dwarf took 2 steps and covered the entire universe. He then asked Bali Maharaj where he was going to take his 3rd step, and Bali Maharaj, understanding that Supreme Lord was showing him his favor, replied, "My dear Lord, I have now lost everything. I have no other property, but I do have my head. Would you so kindly step there?" Lord Krishna was then very much pleased with Bali Maharaj, and he asked, "What would you like for me, from me?" "I never expected anything from you," Bali Maharaj said, "but I understand that you wanted something from me, and now I have offered you everything." "Yes," the Lord said, "but from my side I have something for you. I shall remain always as an order carrier servant in your court." In this way, the Lord became Bali Maharaj's doorman, and that was his return. If we offer something to the Lord, it is returned millions of times, but we should not expect this. The Lord is always eager to return the service of his servant. Whoever thinks that the service of Lord is actually his duty, imperfect in knowledge, and attained the perfection of yoga. Hare Krishna. Śrila Prabhupāda ki Jai. Thank you.